Hi, welcome back. Today, we'll be discussing Immanuel Kant. Kant was a German philosopher who lived from 1724 to 1804. He led a very punctual life. He would always get up early every morning, and his daily walks were so on time that his neighbors set their watches to them. He is widely considered to be one of the most important philosophers who ever lived, and is in many ways the definitive philosopher of modernism. He's also one of the hardest philosophers to understand. Kant is writing in response to the problems he sees both in Hume and in older philosophy. Like Hume, he is suspicious of traditional metaphysics because he sees a lack of agreement among philosophers as to basic metaphysical issues, unlike natural science and mathematics, where there is usually a consensus as to what is true. On the other hand, he sees that Hume's ideas make the mind virtually useless. Kant wants to reaffirm the mind while being aware of what its limits are. Kant agrees with Hume that our knowledge starts with experience, but he says it is not from experience only. Knowledge comes from the way our minds are structured. Kant says that the way the mind works is through categories. The mind is wired to always see things a certain way. For example, one of the categories is the relation between cause and effect. Going back to Hume's pool ball, our minds are structured to see the first pool ball knock the other pool ball forward. Our minds simply cannot see a nonsensical cause happening, like the pool ball exploding. These categories are called a priori categories, from the Latin words that mean from before, because they are before experience. They already exist in the mind before we have any experience, but they are needed for our experience to make any sense to us. Things we find out after experiencing them are a posteriori, Latin for from after. With the categories, Kant is trying to protect the mind from Humean skepticism. Our sense experience only makes sense because of our mind. Also, because of the categories, our sense experience isn't just inductive. We can actually know that the effect follows the cause, and so on. There is a catch, however. The knowledge we get because of the categories is still just in our minds. Our sense experience makes sense, but only for us. We don't know for sure what's happening in the world outside. We don't know what Kant calls the thing in itself. When we see an apple, all we know is how it appears filtered to us through our categories. We don't know anything about the apple apart from our perception of it, the apple in itself. What Kant has done is completely turn around how our knowledge works. All the older philosophers had said that our minds conform to the world around us, but Kant says that the world around us conforms to our minds. This has been compared to what Copernicus did for astronomy. Before Copernicus, it was commonly thought that the sun orbited the Earth, but Copernicus turned it around, saying instead that the Earth orbits the sun. Because of this similarity, Kant's philosophy is referred to as the Copernican revolution of thought. Kant, as we have said, is not just trying to protect the mind, but also to show what its limits are. By turning around the connection between our minds and the world around us, he has actually put pretty serious limits on the mind. We don't know if the world around us is as it appears. We can't answer the questions of traditional metaphysics, such as whether God exists or whether we have free will. There is, however, one thing which Kant says the mind can know, the moral law. Kant sees morality, how we should act, as being the one thing we can know with just our reason. We can know what the moral thing to do is by using the categorical imperative. According to the categorical imperative, an action is only moral if we could will it universally. If it's something that would be good for everyone to do in all situations, then it's moral. For instance, we can use the categorical imperative to prove that it's always wrong to lie. Civilization is built on the assumption that we're all being truthful with each other. If everyone lied all the time, then we couldn't ever trust each other, and we could never get anything done together, and then civilization would fall apart. Since we can't have everyone lying all the time, we can't ever have anyone lie at all. Kant says that, because we use our reason to find out what is moral, we can't use anything other than reason to make a moral decision. We can't do something just because we think it will make us happy, because this isn't using our reason. If we do something which is good, such as donating to charity, but we do it because we want to feel good about ourselves, then we're not doing it because our reason tells us to. This means that it's actually more moral to do something good when it's harder for us, because it proves that we're doing it just because it's good and not because we want to. Because of the need to act morally, Kant says that we still need certain metaphysical concepts, such as God, free will, and eternal life. We need to think we're free, and we need to have the hope of reward for our good actions. Because of this, we need to act as if these metaphysical concepts are true, whether or not they really are. By saying that we need to act as if all this is real, Kant thinks that he has reached a good solution about what we can know. He has shown that the mind is still very important for us, but he has also shown its limits. At the same time, he shows that we need to act as if metaphysical concepts and the physical world around us are real and as they seem. Kant has certainly been very important in the development of thought, and some consider him one of the greatest philosophers of all. Next time, we'll be looking at a philosopher who draws heavily on Kant, but who draws even more heavily on Aristotle. We hope you come back again to hear about Hegel. Happy philosophizing!